The number of people missing after wildfires destroyed the town of Paradise in Northern California has risen to more than 600. 63 bodies have been discovered in the area, but the death toll is expected to rise considerably. At least 3 other people have died in a separate fire in Southern California. President Trump will travel to the state tomorrow to meet people affected. Dan Johnson has the latest from the scene.
These smouldering ruins still refuse to reveal just how much went when Paradise burned. The official number of lives lost has kept slowly climbing, but the sheriff's latest update stunned everyone.
The number of people who are still looking for, who are unaccounted for, has increased to 631, and this number increased by 501 people.
That's because they've checked the number of emergency calls made as the fire burned and compared different lists. Boards like this have appeared at shelters around town with lists of people who are missing and the numbers of loved ones to contact. But this search is increasingly being conducted on social media. So Facebook pages are filled with stories of family members missing, friends and relatives not heard from for more than a week. Like Jonathan's brother, Maurice, missing along with his wife and daughter.
This isn't like Maurice to just disappear off the face of the earth and not let anybody know. But we're still trying, and we'll do whatever it takes until he's found, dead or alive.
Another body's been found. Another family will be getting a call. They will have their answer, but so many more are still waiting. Dan Johnson, BBC News, Paradise.
We're joined now by a resident of Paradise, Jeff Hill, who has lost his house in the fire. Jeff, thank you very much for joining us. I'm so sorry to hear about what's happened to you and the rest of the town. Just describe the conditions that you're dealing with and what you've found now you've gone back home.
It's just absolute devastation. You know, there's nothing left. There's no stores or, you know, there's no nothing. I mean, we have half of a hospital, and you know, that's pretty much it. You know, we're trying to restore the infrastructure to try to get people to back up here, trying to, you know, there's people out there that don't know if their house is standing. They don't know what it looks like. They don't know. They just have been watching the news, and they're just, you know, going at everything's on a whim for them.
How are you managing to be there? I mean, I think you're having to use special equipment and kit, aren't you, to make it safe?
Yeah, you know, earlier I just had we have respirators and masks and stuff like that, and you know, it's real smoky up here. I heard somebody compared it to the air quality at Ground Zero when 9/11 happened. So I don't know. The visibility is real low, but.
What are you doing to try to get some sort of utilities back up and running?
PG&E's been up here working. That's our power company, and they've been working around the clock trying to get the poles out of the road. You know, first process was to get the roads cleared. You know, because there was thousands of cars just parked in the road and just burned. You know, because people just jumped out and started running down the street, and so. All the cars are pretty much cleared. The poles are up out of the road, and the lines are out of the road. I work for the local Paradise Irrigation District, and so now we're trying to restore water to, you know, the firefighters so they can shower, and, you know, we can fill their trucks and stuff like that. So everybody's just trying to do what they can just to try to get, you know, everything back up and running so people can come back and start that grieving process, you know.
And of course, the number of people who've died is going up, and hundreds more people still missing. So the search for them goes on. Amongst this incredibly bleak story, tell us about the one bright spot that the discovery that you made.
Yeah, we were going up there expecting the worst. I was up there with my friend Jeff Sheldon, and you know, he said his dad didn't leave. You know, he said he's 76 years old, and he said he's just too old to rebuild his entire life, so he's going to fight and do what he can to save his house. And so we walked up. You know, we had heard that property had burned, or that neighborhood had burned, so we were expecting, you know, the worst. And when we walked up and his house was still standing, you know, we're very surprised, and off in the distance where the pool was in the backyard, we saw a mule that was pacing back and forth. And, for one, if the animals don't know you, they usually get spooked and run off. And, kind of raised our attention when he wouldn't leave. And so we walked closer to it thinking he was hung up on something, or maybe somebody tied him to a tree or whatever. And as we got closer, we saw he was sitting there waiting on his friend she was stuck and stranded in the pool. So.
And how did she avoid drowning?
So she was stuck on the pool cover. There were straps that go across that connect on both sides of the pool, and she was suspended right under her belly and right on her neck. And so she was basically floating, suspended in the deep end of the pool. And that was, what kept her alive. And I don't know how long she was there, but she was weak. She had given up. She was just sitting there shivering uncontrollably, and you could just tell in her eyes, the sadness. And I feel like she had accepted that she was going to die in that pool. So,
but you got her out. And what happened to her when you got her out?
So we went to the shallow end of the pool and started taking the pool cover off. And once we got to her, since she was being suspended by that pool cover, she actually ended up going under once we took it off by the part she was being suspended by. And then so we just grabbed the pool cover and floated her all the way to the shallow end where she could stand. And then, after she stood up and stuff, I went and grabbed a chain because that's the only thing I had, and I wrapped it around her neck, and we pulled her up the steps. And she got up, walked up the steps, and got out, and kind of shook off and came over to us and kind of loved on us for a minute. And that was my taking as her saying thank you. And after about a minute of that, she turned around and started walking away. And as she was walking away, she kind of looked back at us and one more time, just as to reassure us, to her saying thank you, and I'll be all right.
You have to hold on to those bright spots, don't you, when they happen. Jeff Hill, we're so grateful to you talking to us. Keep safe. Thank you very much.
All righty. Thank you.